Open for questions.
Well, we'll take the win, finish off non-conference, and much more pleased in the second half. I thought inserting Zach into the lineup in the second half, after studying some of the plus-minus stuff at the break, it was clear that he was really a big difference when he was in there. So first 4 to 5, 6 minutes of the second half, I thought that was really big having him in there. That got our defense to offense going with some easy baskets, extending the lead. And then from that point forward, I thought we played pretty comfortable. We didn't turn it over as much in the second half, and continued to work the ball inside as much as we possibly could to play inside out with our advantage. And I thought some guys stepped up and did some better things in the second half. Very disappointing first half, but much better second half.
Mike.
I think the last 3 or 4 games had some playing starters minutes, just kind of given some of the slow starts to games. Did you maybe see that role changing from actually being a starting guy?
We'll see. We'll study it. I think as you head into Big Ten play, you're going to need your best guys that are playing the best out there. You take inventory on what that is. We'll make a decision, going forward. But I like Zach in there right now.
Zach.
I know you weren't here last year, but he kind of went through a similar process last season where he wasn't playing a lot initially, but it just sort of felt like his name kept coming up, and he just kind of earned more playing time. From a coach's perspective, what makes him?
He's he's an everyday guy. What you see out there in the game is what you see in practice. It's a little bit like we were talking about Juwan a couple weeks. What you see Juwan doing in the game, he's doing in practice, and that's why you have to put so much value on the workload that these guys go through every day, really actually getting done. To earn the minutes. And Zach's earning his minutes not only in practice, but he's doing exactly in practice what he does in the game. He's giving maximum effort. He's playing extremely hard. He's giving you a lot of hustle plays, a lot of winning plays. And, for him, when you start to play that way and you're not worried about scoring or shooting or anything else other than just doing your job, then the next thing that happens is you start to actually make a couple shots and you kind of make a couple plays on offense. So it's been good to see him grow up. And, I know as we started the season, we try to learn our team, we try to figure out the best rotations, and I think as we've grown here over the last 5 to 6 games, I think we've figured out that he needs to be a part of what we're doing.
I guess just to follow that, then what's the next step for him? I guess, in terms of always wanting to keep pushing guys, what's the next step in your mind for him?
I think the next step for him is just to continue to try and, be the best defender that he can possibly be, adding rebounder, a bigger player in Big Ten play is going to be important on the perimeter. But I think low turnovers, do your job, make the hustle plays when you're open, shoot it. Be simple. I think if he keeps it simple, he's going to continue to give us, great maximum effort. And when you can count on effort, that's something the coach really relies on, and he's earning trust with our staff right now.
Good, Pete.
Archie, now the Big Ten play is back. What did you maybe want to see in this game? What did you see, and what do you need to see?
Well, we're not rebounding the ball at all right now, and even in the Tennessee Tech game, it's 17 offensive rebounds in this game tonight, and that's not going to cut it moving forward. I mean, you're just not going to be able to survive against the teams in our league if you can't rebound. So I think the defensive rebounding percentages, that we're looking at right now, we got to be consumed with that. I think the other thing is we've got to be a better offensive team. We do. We have to be a better offensive team. Right now, we're not shooting the ball anywhere near the capability we are. And part of it is I really believe we have 4 or 5 guys on our team, and I think that's the thing they start the game with. Boy, I hope I make one tonight. And you have 3 or 4 guys thinking, I hope I make one tonight, and that first one doesn't go in. Next thing you know, you got some guys out there really struggling. And I think that's part of it right now, worrying about the wrong things. If you worry about the right things, I'll make the example against Zach. Again, it's amazing how the ball will go in. And I think we got to get some guys out of the clouds, so to speak, in terms of the fog of why aren't I shooting good or why haven't I been doing this. Just worry about winning the game. Worry about playing the right way. Do your job. Execute better. And I think, it'll be a little bit easier for them. But I don't think the quality of our shots are terrible. I just think we're not making, the open ones, and a lot of that's just mental right now.
Coach, the second half obviously different than the first, as you said, and Zach obviously a big part of that. What is it exactly that he does that makes the team just run so efficiently, and how can you get that to maybe rub off on some of the younger guys or other guys who haven't gotten there yet?
Well, I think the big thing with this current team is I think we're a low energy team. I think we're not a hyped team. We don't have a couple guys on this team that you just know when the ball goes up, they are coming for you. Zach is moving in that direction of a guy that you know when he's in there, he's going full throttle. He's playing as hard as he can on defense. He's on the offensive glass. He's doing hustle plays on the floor. He'll do whatever it takes. And I think when you have guys out there that just like impact the game with their effort and their passion, you know, it really can spearhead some guys. We need to get some other guys on this team fired up and ready to go and playing like that. And right now, I think we've got some guys that have deteriorated as the last month has gone by. If you look at some of our production from some guys, we've deteriorated in some areas. And I think it's confidence. I think it's relying on offense rather than worrying about, you know, the commitment level of how hard you have to play and how much passion you have to play this game with. When you wear Indiana across the front of your jersey, I don't care who you're playing, you have to represent a lot more. I think Zach embodies that. And we have to get more guys going in that direction and not really worrying about, boy, why isn't this guy making a shot right now? He'll make a shot if he just dives in the other pool. And you know, that's a big part of it. You know, we got to get Duran going right now. You know, Duran really, in my mind, isn't playing anywhere near where he was, you know, a month ago. Why is that? Well, we got to get him going. We got to get him back in practice, competing. You know, he's got to fit. If he's going to finish in the game, he's got to finish in practice, and he can't, you know, be a guy that's not giving maximum effort all the time. If you do, you cheated, you're going to struggle. You can't cheat the process.
Alex?
What changed in the second half with the turnovers? It seems like there's been a lot of games where the first half there's been turnovers,
You know,
and then it
it's
gets
always like
better.
that sometimes. I think, you know, especially when we're in transition a lot off missed shots, so you're coming down on your break, and usually when the ball's going away from you, you have to trust your players. And I think a lot of times in the first half when it's going away from us, we're not as smart, we're not as detailed, we're not as good, and you know, some of the decision making and passing. Not good. Second half, I think as it's coming to us, we have a little bit more control over those guys and are able to be a little bit more efficient with what we're running and how we're attacking them. So only having, I think, five turnovers in the second half, much better. But 15 turnovers is too many tonight.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Jack? Should we ask you about Wisconsin?
You can ask about the Big Ten season.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just, and I don't know how much you've been able to look at like Wisconsin or Minnesota, but just kind of your thoughts on the league right now, having maybe gotten that early window especially.
We got the early window, and I think, you know, those two games, you know, they meant a lot. You know, as you guys know now, once you start up, you know, where you're at, you got 1-1, you got a bunch of teams at 1-1, a couple 2-0s, a couple 0-2. So as you get ready to get geared up here, we're already a couple in. In studying the league, I think our league is underrated. I don't think we had a great non-conference as a league, but I think we have two Final Four teams, potential Final Four teams in our conference in Michigan State and Purdue, and I think those two teams clearly right now have established themselves as being at the top. From there, there's a lot of teams that have done some good things, there's a lot of teams that have been up and down, but I think anyone in that pool is going to have an opportunity night in and night out to win. I don't think there's very much difference between a lot of teams, and that's from Rutgers all the way to Michigan State. I think every game is going to be a tough out. So it's going to be a heck of a conference race, and I feel like as the conference season goes, there's going to be plenty of opportunities, you know, for resume building wins, and I think our league will be fine.
Just with these two games to next week on the road, you've been in this league before, obviously you've been all over, but how difficult is it to actually win on the road in this league?
It's the hardest league in the country to win on the road, without question. The home venues are packed, and you know, in my experience here, to win on the road in this league is the hardest thing to do. And Wisconsin, that's the only thing you can really concentrate on now, and I know how hard it is to play there, and that's our focus right now, is to find a way to be ready at that jump ball to compete and play as hard as we possibly can against them in that building, which we know is going to be very difficult.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.